Dana White's Contender Series, week number 3. We've got bantamweights here today. Adam Bramhald taking on Malcolm Wellmaker. But before we get into that really quick, guys, the week 2, we crushed it. We got 4-1. We did miss on the dog shot on the main event. Not so bad, though. I think Pitlick could have done really well at range, but he just didn't get that space. So it is what it is. But otherwise, 4-1, not too bad. We're going to jump right into this one here. We got Adam Bramhald, who is a little bit more experienced here at 13-2. He's got more than double the fights of his opponent, Malcolm Wellmaker. 5-0 in his last 5, so he hasn't lost in a while. Wellmaker, on the other hand, hasn't lost at all. 7-0, 5-0 in the last 5 because, undefeated. That's how that works. But this is a good fight between two primary strikers. Now, both guys have a, somewhat rounded out game, but both guys are primarily strikers, and that's going to be interesting because that's kind of what they want on the Contender Series. A lot of times it's just strikers that are willing to go out there and seek a knockout, basically. So let's start on the Adam Bramhald side because this guy is an extremely fun prospect. The reason why, well, he's a solid striker that has very good combinations, and he uses kind of like a Thai style, a Muay Thai style, but he puts his punches and kicks together really well in his combinations, and he can also use the elbows and knees kind of in that dirty boxing range, or even in the Thai clinch, that the elbows and knees, the kicks, the punches, puts it all together super well, and he's got a ton of volume while he's doing it because the output is going to be his key to victory here. This guy needs to keep the output high, which I don't think we have to worry about if you're on the Bramhald side. The guy's going to give you the output you're asking for. It's just whether or not he can eat a couple of shots from Wellmaker. We're going to get to that in a minute. But for Adam Bramhald, his countering ability is good. His kicks are fast. And I think that if he can keep the pace up, I think he's going to have the superior volume. That's just how that's going to work in this fight. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the Wellmaker side. But Adam Bramhald has pretty good output. And I like the style. It's a little bit awkward, but it's a Thai style, but it's a little bit adjusted for MMA. So he does a good job like blending Muay Thai into MMA and making it not, because if you just go straight with a Muay Thai style striking and don't adjust, you have a lot of holes. A lot of it being the striking defense because you don't have the big gloves, the balance for things like takedown defense or whatever. Because realistically in Muay Thai, obviously nobody's shooting a double leg on you. I mean, that's not going to happen. Or if it does, it's against the rules. So there's that. But also you get the big gloves so you can block different. So Bramhald's done a really good job at adjusting that for MMA. And that's probably the reason why he's gone 13-2. He's done a great job with that. In the grappling, he does have some really nice trips from the Thai clinch. And in fact, he used that, I believe it was his last fight, where he just tripped this guy to the ground constantly. Every time they'd get in close, he'd just drop him. And it was very impressive. And I think, although it doesn't do a ton of damage doing that, it looks good to the judges because it makes it look like you're just throwing this guy around effortlessly, because the way that those Thai trips work, they make your opponent look silly, really. So he was able to do that and looks good doing it. He's got a good sprawl, and he can threaten with the front chokes while he sprawls, and he does a good job with that. And he actually does have a finish via anaconda choke, so it's a front choke right there. So he does have the ability to finish, and a lot of that's because of the long limbs. He's got them choking arms, guys. He's got them choking arms. He's got that slender frame with the skinny forearms. He can slip right under that chin really easy. So Adam Bramhald, I do like him as a prospect. I think he's a very fun fighter. He's going against Malcolm Wellmaker. Now, Malcolm Wellmaker is a very powerful prospect, right? This guy hits extremely hard. He's a very good striker with just a lot of power, and also he picks his shots really well. So I think a lot of the power comes from his ability to pick shots where they need to be. It can result in low volume, though, and that is a problem for him against a guy like Bramhald who's going to push the pace, especially early in the fight. But Wellmaker, we know he can make up for a lack of volume with these big, heavy elbows in tight, the powerful shots. He will work the body, and he lands those shots heavy. He's also got a nice rangy jab, too. So if he can keep on the outside, just stick that jab like really far out from range, he might have some luck there. But I don't know that that's going to be his best path in this fight. I think what he needs to do is land a big, heavy shot, drop Bramhald, maybe finish him there, or maybe mix in his grappling, because his wrestling's pretty good. Like, he's got good takedown defense. He can bounce back up if somebody tries to take him down. But we don't see him work his offensive wrestling as often. But when he does, he's got decent takedowns, and he's got pretty good top control. And I think if he can get Bramhald to the mat, I think he can win minutes that way, because I think on the feet he's going to be losing minutes, but potentially winning moments with a big shot. So it kind of depends in this matchup who you favor based on, do you think either Wellmaker is going to win via knockout, which is possible, or is he going to win the big moments and get the win on the scorecards, which is something he's had to do a couple of times. Now, if you look at his 7-0 record, you see a split decision and a majority decision. Both of those are because he's kind of getting the big moments, but the output is usually less, and he's, getting outlanded, but he's able to land the big moments, things like that. So for a guy like Wellmaker, you really have to be confident in those power shots from him. For a guy like Bramhald, he's going to be doing stuff. So ultimately for me, I'm going to side with Bramhald here, and I don't think the odds are out at the time of me recording this. It's whatever day this is, Saturday. Saturday morning, early Saturday morning. I'm going to take Bramhald. He's probably going to be the underdog because Malcolm Wellmaker has that nice pretty record of 7-0. He has a bit more of a name. I think more people are familiar with him. But Bramhald's got the volume, and I think his style is just going to be enough to make Wellmaker uncomfortable. And I think Bramhald's getting it done probably by decision. Both guys are pretty tough. But I could see a finish from either guy in this matchup. But Bramhald's a pick. Let me know what you guys have. Like the video while you are down there. But drop that comment letting me know your pick in this matchup, and I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't done it, check out the playlist for Dana White's Contender Series Week 3. It should be popping up on screen if it hasn't already, and I will see you in the next one.